Good morning. Welcome to the Umpqua Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm Glennis Peterson, your service leader for today, February 6th. As long as we're still closed, please take a moment to call and connect with each other. Until we can be together in our church, it is one way to stay in touch. It is our plan to open for in-person services on Sunday, February 27th. Keep an eye on your UmQuest for the latest information. Our speaker this week is Donna Smith. She currently conducts a grief group on Thursday nights at 6:30 on Zoom. Watch your email or UmQuest for the link. Donna will be available after this service for an after-sermon discussion on Zoom. It's every Sunday. The sign-in time is 11:15, and the conversation will start at 11:30. The link to this discussion is also in your UmQuest. At this hour, in small towns and big cities, in single rooms and ornate sanctuaries, many of our sibling Unitarian Universalist congregations are also lighting a flaming chalice. As we light our chalice today, let us remember that we are part of a great community of faith. May this dancing flame inspire us to fill our lives with the Unitarian Universalist ideals of love, justice, and truth. Dragonflies are the keepers of dreams, the energy within that sees all of our true potential and ability. Dragonflies inspire spirituality and creativity. They help us on the path of discovery and enlightenment. They remind us that anything is possible.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Light that shines is a light of love, lights the darkness from above. Shines on me and shines on you, shows the power of love is you. Shine my light, but bright and clear. Shine my light, but far and near. In every dark corner that I find, gonna let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Monday gave me the gift of love. Tuesday peace came from above. Wednesday told me to have more faith. Thursday gave me a little more grace. Friday told me to watch and pray. Saturday told me just what to say. Sunday gave me the power tonight to let my little light shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
I would like to introduce today's speaker, Donna Smith. She is a Unity Worldwide Ministry spiritual leader whose training focused on pastoral care. She is most happy when she can help others find peace and joy in their lives. She is also a Unity chaplain, a Taizé prayer leader and trainer, a Reiki master and practitioner, a nonviolent communication teacher, a student and a teacher of A Course in Miracles, and is active in our Cares and Concerns ministry.
Good morning, my you friends. This morning, I would like to share a story with you. It's called The Dragonfly. Once in a little pond in the muddy water under the lily pads, there lived a little water larva in a community of water larvae. They lived a simple and comfortable life in the pond with few disturbances and interruptions. Once in a while, sadness would come to the community when one of their fellow larvae would climb the stem of a lily pad and would never be seen again. They knew this when this happened, that their friend was dead and gone forever. Then one day, one little water larva felt an irresistible urge to climb up that stem. However, he was determined that he would not leave forever. He would come back and tell his friends what he had found at the top. When he reached the top and climbed out of the water onto the surface of the lily pad, he was so tired and the sun felt so warm that he decided he must take a nap. As he slept, his body changed, and when he woke up, he had turned into a beautiful blue-tailed dragonfly with broad wings and a slender body designed for flying. So fly he did. And as he soared, he saw the beauty of a whole new world and a far superior way of life than what he had known existed before. Then he remembered his larva friends and how they were thinking by now that he was dead. He wanted to go back to tell them and explain to them that he was now more alive than he had ever been before. His life had been fulfilled rather than ended. But his new body would not go down into the water. He could not get back to tell his friends the good news. Then he understood that their time would come when they too would know what he now knew. So he raised his wings and he flew off into his joyous new life. Now, the dragonfly is one of my animal totems. They estimate that the dragonfly has been around for over 180 million years, which is longer than the dinosaurs, which is estimated at 165 million years. So right there, we can see that they represent longevity and resilience to stay around that long. Their spiritual keynote is the power of light. They have a beautiful jewel-like coloring. The bright colors take time to develop, reflecting the idea that with maturity and growth, our own true colors come forth. Structures in their shell scatter and refract the light, making them look iridescent green and blue. As Ted Andrews says in his book, Animal Speak, this ability to reflect and refract light and color has caused it to be associated with many forms of magic and mysticism, including color magic, illusion, causing others only to see what you wish, and more. Dragonfly's magic is the power of light and all that has ever been associated with it. Now, they inhabit two realms, water and air. In their early life as a nymph, they live in the water. As they mature and go through their metamorphosis, they move to the realm of air. And as Ted Andrews says, it is not unusual to find individuals with dragonfly totems to be very emotional and passionate in their early years. But as they grow older, they learn to balance it with greater mental clarity and control. Sometimes it can indicate that the emotions have gotten shut down because of emotional issues in early life. So if a dragonfly shows up in your life, it may mean you need to look deeper at something emotional happening in your life, or you may need to gain a new perspective, or make a change regarding something in your life, or it could mean that you are neglecting your emotions. Now remember, they represent the power of light. Their realm is light, and they are very active in the warm summer days. Light means clarity, awareness, and a higher consciousness. So when they show up, they are either sending you a message to stop and check in on your emotions, or they are affirming your clarity and awareness. They can support you on both ends, so to speak. If they show up for you, expect a change to occur, for they represent transformation. They undergo incomplete metamorphosis, unlike most insects, such as the butterflies. Dragonflies do not have a pupal stage and transition straight from the larva to an adult. And this takes place out of the water within 1 to 3 hours, very quickly. So for me, it means we can raise our consciousness levels easily and effortlessly when we become committed to doing that. As we look at our story, we see that most of the dragonfly's life is in the water as a larva, eating and trying to stay safe. They fear that those who have moved on are dead. As we relate this to humans, it reminds me of how we can create a box of routines and comfort, afraid to move out of the box to something new. However, our souls are watching this. And as John O'Donohue writes, it watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? So our souls want us to move beyond the stuckness we create in our lives because of fear. Change is inevitable. And when we stubbornly refuse to move, when change becomes important, we can stifle our growth and remain in our darkness, so to speak. Eventually, we awaken to the spirit of adventure and the knowing that something is missing. This is when we find the courage, the energy, and the excitement of change beginning to grow so big within us that we have to do something, as the little larva did. He had to climb the stalk and move from the water to the air. Now, water represents emotional release, intuition, and inner reflection. This is the time that there is inner growth and maturity in intuition and the ability to go beyond the emotions of fear. We then take the journey up the green stalk, so to speak. Air represents intellect, mental intention, and connection to the universal life force. Here is the power of intention, to create one's life and to do so knowing that we are divinely connected to the universal wisdom that is life. Here is where we realize our empowerment and that we truly are creators. The larva makes this transition into the beautiful dragonfly. It has always been in its soul, and its soul is so delighted, for now the dragonfly can soar and be free from the fears it felt before. We can relate this to dying in the flesh and moving from the physical plane. However, we can also relate it to our everyday lives. All the other larvae thought those who left died. Not true. They went on to realize their full potential through transformation. So when you are caught up in fear, you cannot see truth. Everything around you is distorted, seems dangerous, and you limit your life through this fear. When you release fear, you realize fear is nothing. It has no control unless you give it control over your life. The climbing up the stalk of the lily represents releasing the fears and realizing your full potential. And just like the dragonfly, you will glow with the color of life, the freedom of flight, and the courage to be and do all that you want. You will fly. We have been caught up in the fear too long. When we release the fear, we realize that what goes with it is the depression, the sadness, the perceived limitations, and the suffering. Some of our friends and loved ones may not be able to let go of the fears. They may not understand you when you find the new you and perceive life differently than you have before. They may not follow you, but you have to go. You have to follow your soul's calling, for you have come to the place where the calling is so strong, you finally let go and you move out of your box that you have created by your fear. It is easy to be caught in the familiar. It takes great bravery to follow your soul, and the rewards for doing so are so great, you'll never look back, just as our little dragonfly. For you see, eventually everyone, your family and friends, will have to finally heed to the calling of their souls, and they will do this in their own time. When your time comes, you must fly. And when you reach the level of consciousness, you then know in your heart that they will be coming in their own time. And that is a great comfort to the soaring soul, to know that no one is left behind and all are on their own path and they are walking it. So I love the messages the other life forms teach us. If we take the time to study them and watch them, we will learn wonderful things, great insight. You who have pets know well what I'm talking about. They are all here to help us. They are all our little angels filled with unconditional love, just hoping that you will see that as their great gift to life and to each of us is right there in front of us. It is interesting to note that we are the only species that has an ego. They have no egos, so they don't get caught up in fear and limitation. They live their lives. They don't hold grudges. They don't hold on to resentments. They know they are part of the circle of life, and they live their lives, and they are free. The larvae of the dragonfly are preparing for their freedom. They are in their formative time so that they are ready to fly. We humanized our little story for effect. Each species knows who they are. It's just humans that get caught up in the fear and create scenarios and experiences that do not support their happiness and the power of being a divine being. So I do believe it is time to awaken to who we really are, beings of light and love. We are resilient, we are strong, we are courageous, we are compassionate, we have a lot of wisdom and wholeness. And then we can live our lives in the freedom that we were meant to live it in, just like all the other species on this planet. Yes, they have emotions. Yes, they have wisdom. Yes, they know how to have fun. I mean, look at the otters, look at the puppies, and look at the kittens. Yes, they know how to survive in the circle of life until it is time to leave. They do not create scenarios of fear and doom and what ifs. They are in the present moment always. And this is what we need to learn from them. Be in the present moment where we are free, where we can live our dreams and fly right now in this physical realm. We do not have to die in the physical to be free. And once you feel the freedom, you will never be able to go back. You may still feel a little fear occasionally. However, you will be able to process it very quickly with the wisdom of your new freedom of higher consciousness. So to recap the lessons of the dragonfly. We are light beings. We are resilient, strong, courageous, and free the moment we decide to be free. We are eternal with infinite possibilities and divine wisdom to create. We can fly when we choose to fly. The dragonfly represents the raising of consciousness to levels that are truly beyond this world, even though we are still in the world. And what advice does the dragonfly give us? Spend time near the water. Appreciate long summer days. Zoom in on your dreams. And I'm pretty sure the dragonfly doesn't mean zoom.com on your computers. Keep your eyes open. Enjoy a good read. REED, it says. Be colorful and just wing it. And I think that is great, great advice. So I'd like to close with John O'Donohue. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. So I'd like to take just a few moments of meditation. So I invite you to join me, and wherever you are, get very comfortable. Breathe deeply a few times and close your eyes. As you move into the quietness of your inner being, bring your attention to your heart. Feel it breathing to the rhythm of the universe, bringing you into alignment with your divine higher self. As you rest in your heart, think of someone or something that brings you a great feeling of love and appreciation and joy. Now hold that vision and that feeling in your heart. You have now balanced your mind and your heart and entered into your greatest wisdom. Remember the last time you saw a dragonfly? Envision it in your mind. Remember the beauty and light of its iridescent wings. The beauty of color and light of its wings reminds us to let our own spirits be illuminated. You are a being of light. That is what the dragonfly reminds us. By letting in the light, we welcome transformation and the realization of dreams in our lives. So hold this vision of the dragonfly in your mind for a few moments of silence. The dragonfly navigates with elegance and grace. So I invite you to really look at the dragonfly the next time it enters your space. It is about transformation, changing perspective, energy and potential, maturity, depth of character, power and poise. Let's take a deep breath as we bring our attention back into this space. And I hope you all have a new appreciation for the dragonfly, for the dragonfly is a wonderful teacher for us. And I also invite you to be more aware of all the different life forms around us. They are beautiful. They have so many wonderful messages for us. The dragonfly is one of my favorites. So thank you very much for being with us this morning, and I will see you on Zoom later. Bye now.
May you touch dragonflies and stars, dance with fairies and talk to the moon. May you grow up and live with love and gracious hearts, and always know how loved you are. May you always remember your innocent, childlike nature. May you see the wisdom of the dragonflies within you. We extinguish this flame, but not its meaning and mission in our hearts. Our time together has come to an end. Go in peace, be of service to one another, and may you move through the world in love for all of your days.